Many Americans know what Franklin D. Roosevelt did, but do not know how he learned to do it. He had many gifts. He was charming, optimistic, theatrical, emotionally intelligent, and quick-witted. He benefited from family connections, deeply held religious convictions, ruthlessness, stoic resolve, and surprising eloquence. He was rarely still. He always seemed to be constantly moving forward, though sometimes he looked to the past for guidance from the successes and failures of the men who had preceded him as president. From those he knew personally, Cleveland, Teddy Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, Warren Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, and earlier leaders such as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson, and Abraham Lincoln, Roosevelt learned valuable lessons on campaigning, assembling cabinets, mastering foreign affairs, and cultivating the image, messaging, vision, and congressional, public, and party support needed for political success. Even when he was improvising, as he often did, Roosevelt was mindful of his audience and the impact of his actions and rhetoric on his stature, both in how he compared with earlier presidents and the model he was crafting for his successors to consider following. This book tracks these lessons in telling the story of how Franklin Roosevelt learned to lead, and examines Roosevelt's interactions with the mentors who influenced his ambition, vision, and actions. Presidents, even great ones such as Roosevelt, are not to the manner born, but shaped by the people they know, as inspirations, cautionary tales, and teachers. From some presidents, Roosevelt learned what not to do. This is true for the three New Yorkers who preceded him as president, Martin Van Buren, Chester Arthur, and Grover Cleveland, in both his terms, who each lacked boldness and popular support in addressing economic crises. Determined to be their opposite, Franklin mastered audacious solutions backed by congressional and popular support. By the time Franklin visited his distant cousin Teddy in the White House at the turn of the 20th century, he was old enough for the power and pageantry to make lasting impressions on him. Franklin modeled himself on Teddy, right down to the clothes and glasses he wore, the college and law school he attended, his first government job in Washington, and his becoming governor of New York, a vice presidential candidate and president in his own right. From Theodore, Franklin learned the values of mastering the bully pulpit, challenging the status quo, and working directly with the people who could help him achieve his goals, wherever they were, in his administration or not. For 7 years, Franklin served as Assistant Naval Secretary to President Woodrow Wilson, spanning the entirety of the First World War. From Wilson, Franklin learned the risks of being sanctimonious and elitist in governing, dragging his feet when making important decisions, and stubbornly adhering to the hierarchy of power. Yet he also became familiar with the intricacies of military command, foreign affairs, and the men who became important leaders in the Second World War. From Theodore, Wilson, and Lincoln, Franklin understood presidents are responsible for providing the moral leadership the nation needs to advance and address problems, and to become a model for other nations. Roosevelt's project extended the nation-building legacy of Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Wilson. He shared their constitutional vision in promoting a democracy capable of addressing economic and other crises. He overcame a number of obstacles to do so, not the least of which was overcoming the devastating effects of polio. The physical courage Roosevelt mustered to achieve that shared political and personal vision was nurtured and inspired by a cohort of earlier leaders such as Andrew Jackson and Teddy Roosevelt, each of whom survived a bullet wound near his heart, and intimate advisors, especially his wife Eleanor, and political mentor Lewis Howe. As governor of New York, Franklin won 2 terms as a model of leadership through his unique combination of the attributes he adapted from leaders whom he admired, including charm — he became a less annoying version of his cousin Teddy — ruthlessness from Jackson.